Hey everyone, this is Walter, and I'm back with something pretty different here. As you may know, I'm from the old internet, and I used to spend a lot of time on Something Awful, so I used to like to narrate some of the more legendary threads. And this is one of the all-time classics. Well, let's just get started with Classic Something Awful, the chili thread. We all know the classic chili argument: is it better with or without beans? I personally prefer the beans, but I'm okay with it either way. Now you all probably have to stop watching to tout your own preference, but that's okay because comments are good for the algorithm. However, this is a whole different matter. Let me give you a little bit of background. Goons with Spoons is the cooking subforum on Something Awful. I've never posted there, but from what I can gather, it's actually a pretty chill place for even mediocre amateur chefs to post their culinary ventures. This guy wouldn't have ruffled so many feathers if he had just posted his chili recipe to the chili thread like a normal person, but he decided to start his own. I don't know how to pronounce this forum's name, so I will call him This Guy or OP. Anyway, spoilers, he gets banned eventually. April 19th, 2011, OP comes onto the forum with this really edgy, in-your-face post about making manly chili. It's like old Maddox or Epic Mealtime or something. His chili recipe isn't the worst thing I've ever seen, but it has some puzzling choices. Let's read it. Who can out-chili my chili? I bet this mod challenge can. We will get to the mod challenge in a bit, don't worry. It is my firm belief that man can subsist on nothing more than chili and anger. To that end, I have decided to share my own favorite chili recipe with a lot of you, so that you may convert your shame and anger into chili and anger. In this way, I am the best humanitarian who has ever or will ever survive. I'm going to be breaking a few sacred chili rules here. Too bad, I apologize to no one. Ingredients. He makes a bunch of little jokes after the ingredients, but they're really not funny. SA was known for being edgy back in the day, but not really in the cooking subforum. This place was mostly chill. 1.5 to 2 pounds of ground pork. Perfect way to uncover Jews. 2 packages of French onion soup mix. Be prepared for your chili to surrender. 2 tablespoons of chili powder. Less if you're a baby, more if you're a man. 4 teaspoons of ground cumin. Omit this and I will devour your soul. 1 teaspoon of black pepper, slightly racist. 1/2 teaspoon of salt, or none if you're having a heart attack right now. 6 ejaculations, squirts of Tabasco sauce. 1 21-ounce can of red beans and 1 21-ounce can of black beans. I have a dream. 2 6-ounce cans of tomato paste with garlic. Regular tomato paste equals you're an asshole. 2 8-ounce cans of tomato sauce. Real men need more than just paste. 1 green, orange, or red pepper, chopped up. Green peppers are Satan's taint. 1 package of sliced mushrooms. Yes, you can slice your own mushrooms, smartass. Instructions. 1. Put the meat in a huge chili pot and brown it over medium heat. 2. Add 4 cups of water and the French onion soup mix. Stir and let simmer for 10 minutes. 3. Stir in the spices and Tabasco and simmer for another minute or 2. 4. Add the beans, the mushrooms, and the chopped pepper. 5. Turn to low and let simmer for at least 20 minutes. 40 is better, stirring every 5 to 10. 6. Call your mother and tell her she's not allowed to hug you anymore. And that's it, you're done. You just went from a pathetic, flaccid pushover to a chili chewing boner owner in about an hour. Your life will thank me. Who's next? Don't even think about posting a recipe with corn in it. You should be ashamed of yourself. The initial reaction to this recipe and the way it was presented was not great, but this isn't going to get him banned. No, the OP immediately sets in defending his chili recipe and further insulting the actual chili thread. That thread is old, sad, and full of bad recipes. This thread is for people who love chili more than they hate themselves. At this point, posters began chiming in with better chili recipes. And then this lasagna recipe. I really like this recipe. I had to make a couple of substitutions because I couldn't find certain ingredients, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. I changed the pork to beef, simply because I prefer beef. I obviously kept the tomatoes, but I had to replace the onion soup mix with cheese sauce because I'm reverse lactose intolerant. If there's not sufficient lactose in my food, I get sick. I know a few purists will be cross with me for this, but I had to leave out the mushrooms. I'm allergic to them. Instead, I used large flat sheets of pasta. I thought it'd be nice to give it a bit of an avant-garde twist, so I made my chili in layers. 1 layer of meaty sauce, followed by the mushrooms, flat pasta, topped with onion soup, cheese sauce. After a couple of layers like this, I topped the whole thing off with beans. Except because I couldn't get beans, I used grated Parmesan. It was delicious. A++++, would cook again. The OP did not take kindly to his chili recipe being mocked and responded by doubling down again. This is where he really starts to crack me up, by the way. Now hold on just a minute. I don't want anyone misinterpreting my chili. My chili is not about experimenting with gay sex during your college years. My chili is not about wearing a goddamn chef's hat. My chili is not about sauntering around with your premium ingredients while singing a pretty little song about your first period. This is back to basics chili. This is I'm flat fucking broke chili. This is I have 1 hour to feed myself before my shift surfing for CP at the local library starts chili. This is camping chili. This is hunting chili. This is house full of screaming little shits chili. This is the comfort chili you make your best friend right after he walks in on you speed bagging his sister. This is quick, easy, tasty man chili. This isn't the chili you have Gordon Ramsay weep into because you didn't use all fresh ingredients. And this is not the chili you waste a perfectly good steak making. This thread is for the kind of chili you make by throwing $5 of crap into a pot and screaming at it until it bends to your will. Any other type of recipe can go over to that let's put tequila in chili and pretend we haven't failed as human beings thread and contemplate the best day to commit suicide. I know I always take French onion soup powder when I go camping. I just checked, and pound for pound of raw ingredients, your chili costs more than my chili, which I make with beefsteak, pork ribs, real onions, and fresh chilies. I even erred on the side of caution and allowed myself more meat by weight to allow for the bones in the ribs. Let's not make this about cost. Your chili would still be shit if it cost 1/10 of what mine does. It would still be a triumph of convenience over quality, and this would still be a terrible thread. There is simply no need to buy pre-sliced mushrooms, tomato puree with garlic in it, or fucking French onion soup mix. If you want to put mushrooms in your chili, fine, whatever. But buy mushrooms and slice them yourself. If you crave garlic, mince a bulb of garlic. If onion flavor is what you desire, put in a couple of fucking onions. To summarize, if you're going to cook something and brag about how good it is, make it good and put in some fucking effort. Don't just post a load of crap ingredients and expect people to applaud you for your terrible shortcut shite. So now he's basically arguing with the thread. I'm not sure if the rules were exactly the same back then, but there is a rule that says try to respond appropriately to criticism, and I think this is where he's actually getting himself in trouble. I'm so sorry to have offended your delicate sensibilities. All I have to go on is about 10 years of people lining up to fillet me after trying my chili. Anything to get the taste out of their mouth, I suppose. Okay, now let's talk about mod challenges. It's a weird thing they did on Something Awful, but it's pretty simple in concept. A person who breaks the rules is given options to complete a challenge and not get banned. Apparently a rule had to be added around this time that mod challenges can't require someone to get naked. Gotta wonder what kind of cringe led to that rule. Well, let's read it. You are required to do one of the following, of your choice. Option 1. Eat one whole US No. 5 can, that's 7 cups or 56 fluid ounces, of creamed corn, in one sitting. You must eat the corn directly out of the can, using either a straw, normal bendy or boba straws are all fine, or your bare hands. You will provide evidence of you consuming said product, either photographic or video, and provide commentary on the flavor, texture, and other aesthetic issues that occur to you as you consume. Option 2. Fix a batch of chili according to any of the recipes posted in this thread, before or after this challenge is issued. Provide photography showing the cooking and eating process. Compare and contrast the flavor profiles, ease of preparation, and expense of your chili and the chili you selected. Option 3. Buy a bunch of canned chili with beans. If you attempt this challenge with no beans chili, I will give you a failing mark. Open the cans and fill your bathtub with enough chili to cover any parts of your anatomy that may be considered not work safe. Immerse yourself in the chili bath and have a friend photograph you holding a sign with your username as you enjoy your beanie bath. This image must be work safe. So obviously he's supposed to pick option number 2, and it's supposed to improve his horizons on chili making. Also, any other user can complete the challenge first and have him banned, though I don't think anyone actually wanted this. Here's a good summary of the situation. You have to understand that in Goons with Spoons, there is a small contingent of people who love food and cooking and are very serious about it, at varying levels of experience. And there are a bunch of stereotypical goons like yourself who make lazy asshole food like crock-pot meatloaf or chili with store-bought powdered everything and think they're the next Gordon Ramsay. Those of us who love to cook and are honestly serious about food want people to learn to cook and eat like adults with dignity and self-respect, because it's not hard or expensive to cook good food. But when you insist on making sad, lazy fat man food that I wouldn't feed to a dog, keep in mind these animals eat their own poop. It is offensive. Keep the ego in check, know your limits, and learn to appreciate constructive criticism. If everyone is telling you your recipe is disgusting, maybe it's because it's disgusting and not because the cooking forum has no taste in food. Did he continue to defend his chili? Of course he did. I'm sure there are also many people on Goons with Spoons like me who know how to cook and are serious about it, but are also mature enough to accept the fact that while some dishes need to be made from scratch to succeed, others come out incredible with crappy ingredients. You don't need to stick your nose up in the air because someone dares not to thresh their own wheat from the purest fields in the safest lands while harps play in the background. There's love of food, and then there's food snobbery. If you make a pot of this chili and give it to someone, they'll tell you it's some of the best chili they've ever eaten. I'm sure it goes against everything you've ever been told about proper cooking, but the recipe works. If a recipe doesn't contain the types of ingredients you would like it to contain, but it comes out tasting great, is it a success or a failure? This chili tastes great, and it will always taste great. And that's why I posted the recipe. When something works, it works. I'm sorry if it makes you mad that good food can come from bad ingredients. I, and anyone who can put their ego on hold long enough to whip up a batch of this stuff, will enjoy. 10-cent ramen noodles taste good too, but you don't see people coming in here with their recipe for manly hunting ramen consisting of 1 pack of ramen noodles, bitch, and some Mrs. Dash. I fucked Mrs. Dash. Do you not see that there is, just maybe, a middle ground between everything from scratch all the time and powdered soup mix and chili? The answer is no. He's just going to accuse everyone else of being some sort of a cooking purist with no grounding in the real world. All they're really saying is to use onions instead of French onion soup mix and garlic instead of tomato paste with garlic. Let's discuss your soup mix. One package contains 610 milligrams of sodium, or 25% of the daily need. This isn't so bad as it's spread out through probably more chili than you could eat alone, but let's look at the ingredient list. Onions dehydrated, salt, cornstarch, onion powder, sugar, corn syrup, hydrolyzed soy protein, caramel color, partially hydrogenated soybean oil, monosodium glutamate, yeast extract, natural flavors, disodium inosinate, disodium guanylate. I mean, really? You are putting that shit in your chili because you are too fucking lazy to chop an onion? Why do you think this shit tastes better? Can you tell me why it needs caramel coloring? Or why it needs both sugar and corn syrup, not to mention both salt and MSG? The main thing is not that we are against good tasting food, we are against putting unneeded shit into our bodies when there are fresh tasty alternatives that don't support this kind of garbage. This is middle ground. The lazy side is just buying a can of chili. The crazy side is hand feeding a cow and licking it twice a day to make sure it's suitable for your holy chili. The middle is using a few store-bought goods and, oh god no, call the police, French onion soup mix to make what turns out to be a damn good pot of chili. All I'm seeing here is no true Scotsman posturing. You're missing out on an incredible meal. There's a small chance I may have whizzed in their free trade, organic, non-subsidized hand-pressed cornflakes. Imagine what would happen if I told them I sometimes use artificial vanilla extract when I make cookies rather than gathering the beans myself from Aphrodite's pubis. Are you even remotely capable of understanding that your stupid exaggerations are not at all what anyone here is advocating? Nobody is suggesting you buy beans grown by pixies in some magical wonderland, or make your chili with only the finest Kobe beef. You can continue to set up your little caricatures to try and make us look crazy for suggesting that you use fresh ingredients instead of preservative and salt-laden garbage, but it really just makes you look like a hysterical child. There is a middle ground between canned chili and the finest of gourmet ingredients simmered for hours to absolute perfection, and it's fresh ingredients from the grocery store prepared with a modicum of respect for the people you're feeding it to. This isn't chili Gordon Ramsay would weep into, it's chili he'd dump on the floor, make you clean up and tell you to get the fuck out. Gordon Ramsay sure comes up a lot in this subforum, I feel like. If people want to use their straw man arguments that anything plus soup mix equals the Holocaust, then they shouldn't be surprised when I use a different straw man argument to defend my awesome chili. There's nothing in there that's going to kill you, try it and enjoy. Is anyone else really using straw man arguments with the OP? Okay, I'm kinda surprised, but I think I'll actually need a part 2 for this video. I'm really enjoying the story as I go back and read it, so let me know if this was any good, and I will be finishing it in a part 2 soon. For reference, this was 2 pages of a 6-page thread, so we should finish up here before too long. Next video, we will show what happened with his mod challenge, and whether this was what ended up getting him banned. But that is about all the time I have for you today. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you liked the video, please give it a like. If you have something to say, make sure you let me hear it in the comments. I'd love to hear your opinion on this man and his chili and how manly they both are. I actually own a chef hat, so this guy probably thinks I'm a pussy, am I right? If you're new here and want more content like this, consider subscribing for more of the same. I'd also like to thank my generous patrons who helped me buy the massive amounts of French onion soup mix I use in my daily cooking. Much appreciated. Like I said, I'll be back with a conclusion as soon as possible. Have a great night, everyone, and don't be too much of a food snob.